Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, in the last class, we have discussed in detail the concept of internal synchronization and external synchronization, right? We can get the actual time within the network, and we can also get the actual time from outside the network. And the algorithms to get the time from any source which is being placed outside the network, we have discussed Christian's algorithm for that one, right? And we have discussed Berkeley algorithm in order to synchronize all the systems within a network, right? So now, here is the question. All of you please note down this question and let me have the answer for this one. In this particular thing, or in this question, you have to apply Christian's algorithm. Okay, and these are the readings of round trip time: 40 millisecond, 44 millisecond, and 36 milliseconds. And these are the respective time stamps. Okay. So let me have.
Yes, sir.
These are the times from the client side. Okay, and this is the round trip time which is being taken by the client to get the time from the time source. Okay, TS. And this is your local clock at the client side. I am expecting all the students are going to exercise this question. Are you guys solving this question or not?
Yes, sir. Christian.
Okay, good. गौरव, क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो कि नहीं? गौरव धवल, हर्ष सिन्हा,
Yes, sir.
कुमारी, सॉल्व कर रहे हो किरण इस क्वेश्चन को? नो रिस्पॉन्स. नागेंद्र,
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
yeah.
Yes, I am trying. Yes, sir.
रेवती, Roll number 66.
Yes, sir, I'm trying.
Yeah. If you have noted down this question, then let me give you one more hint. The students who are new, they can take off this slide. This one. In the question, actually, this particular thing has been given to you, RTT, round trip time. This is actually your RTT divided by 2. This term particularly.
कितना जल्दी में आ गया झाड़ी में वो फोन झाड़ी में
This question is not that much big. सुनंदा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो?
Yes, sir.
गुड. उत्कर्ष, तन्मय,
Yes, I'm solving. I'm trying to solve it.
पूर्णिमा, जो स्लाइड पहले दिखाई दे रहा उसका हेल्प कर सकते हो आप. हाँ,
What, sir?
इसके पहले जो स्लाइड दिखाई थी ना, दिखाया था ना मैंने, फॉर्मूले का
Yeah.
हेल्प ले सकते हो आप. You can take the help from that formula in order to solve this question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, apart from that, especially for all the students who have missed the earlier classes, for the students who have missed the earlier classes, I have provided the link to all the lectures in this tab. Okay, so you can see the recording of all the videos of earlier classes. Okay, students?
Yes, sir.
Like this. Six PM. So in the last step, you can find the links of all the videos.
Sir, is it the third value that is 36? Or like the final value is 10, 52, 40, 14 and 192.
Okay, so we have 192. So what is the final value?
1052, 14, 192.
1052. No. This time is in millisecond.
Sir, final value would be 10, 34, 14 and 210.
Yeah, 10,
10, 34, 14 and 210.
210. Okay. Okay.
Sir, according to me, it should be 10, 34, 14, 174.
And this answer is coming from whom? Anushri. Okay.
10, 30, 15, 10.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else who have come up with the answer? Anybody else? Likita, roll number 56. Sakshi.
Sir, 10, 34, 14, 736.
Okay. Okay, fine. Pavan Rathoria.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, finally 10, 34, 14, 210.
Okay. And who is speaking? Pawan. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 10, 34, 14, 252.
Okay. Okay, fine. So I guess most of you have tried to solve this question. So let us just try to understand what exactly have been asked. Okay. So as we have discussed earlier, over here we have got two parties, right? The one is your client and the other one is your time server, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
over here, the client is trying to synchronize its clock with the server, right? So client is sending a request to server and then getting the response back. Fine. So let's say client has sent a request at T1 and then has received a response at T2, right? Apart from that, the server has sent its timestamp and we are calling it as a T-serve. Okay, this is the time which is being sent by the server. Fine. Now, in this question, client has asked the timestamp from the server at T1. Okay. So at the end, and let's say the client time is this one. Okay. So at the end, we have to set the time at the client side. So it has to be the time received from the server, right, plus the round trip time divided by 2. Or you can say dt serve plus T2 minus T1 divided by 2, right? So over here exactly, this is the time, this one. Okay, why we have choose this particular time? Because of the reason, as we discussed earlier, that we want the delay to be minimized as much as possible, or we are going to consider a round trip time which is minimal, because it is very much possible that the amount of error which we are getting out of it is minimal. So that is why out of these 3 given timing, 40, 44 and 36, we have choose this one because it is giving us the minimal round trip time. Okay, so that was the reason because of which out of these 3 times we have used this one. Okay, 3 times a client has sent a request to server, and these were the timings which the client got. Okay, so at this time the client got this much of delay. Oh, sorry, this is the time of the server. Okay, these are the time of the server, and this is the round trip time. This is wrongly placed. Server time. Huh? Okay, so now we'll choose the least one, which is 36. Okay, and the corresponding timestamp of the server is 10:34:14:192, right? And this is the time in millisecond, and these are in hours, minute, second, and millisecond. So this means this particular time is your millisecond, and this one is second, and this one is minute, and this one is hours, right? So I have explained why we have used this time, since this is the minimal one. Okay, and it is very much possible that the time which we are going out of it is also minimal, or the error bound is also going to be minimal. Fine. So since this is round trip time, that is why first the timestamp, which is your 10, 34, 14 and 192, right? Plus your round trip time, which is 36, and we have to divide it by 2. So whatever will be the value, that value is going to be added into this one. So at the end, it is going to be 210. So the students who have got the value 10, 34, 14 and 210 have evaluated this question correctly. How many of you have done this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the students who are unable to do it, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Good. So I'm assuming now you have got the concept how we can synchronize any clock or any client's clock from the server, right? In the earlier class, we have also discussed one of the concept of internal synchronization, and that was your Berkeley algorithms, right? And this is what is happening in this block. So I hope all of you would have already got the concept, and now on the basis of that concept, please solve this question as well. So in this particular case, let's assume this is the master, okay, and rest are the slaves. Okay, so what I mean to say that the polling is going to be done by this particular clock. Okay, so this particular clock will make all the coordination. And let's say the threshold which we have considered is the time received from each clock should not be or you can say they should not have the variation of 45 minutes. Okay, variation. So only this much of variation of 45 minutes from each clock is acceptable. Is that fine? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the students who are new to this class, they can refer to this line. Okay, this is your master clock, and what the master clock is doing, or what the master process is doing, it is following the timing from all the clients, and then it is calculating the average. Okay, and while this process is being done, it is neglecting the outlier as well. Okay, how the outlier is being decided? With the help of a threshold. Okay, so whichever clock is giving any abnormal timing, we are going to neglect that time in averaging. Okay, so in this case, we have just excluded this time. Okay, so the time from this one, and this one has been included to calculate the average, right? And then all the clocks are being set with respect to this time. Okay, so the average which was coming out 305. So in order to have 305, this clock has to be incremented by 5, and this has to be reduced by 20. This has to be increased by 15, and this has to be reduced by 605. Okay, this is for the students who are new to this class.
So 401.
401. Okay, just
Sir, what is threshold?
this one. The variation of 45 minutes is acceptable. 441, right? And who has given this answer?
So actually not 441, 401 I'm getting.
401. Okay, roll number?
So MTech student, right now roll number is not allowed.
Okay, your name?
So Varun.
Varun. Okay.
Sir, 435.
435. And who is this?
Harsh.
Harsh. Roll number?
Sir, MTech student, sir. Roll number not given.
Harsh. Fine. Then
Sir, 408.
408. Okay. And who is this?
Sir, Vishal, 90.
Okay.
Tech.
95. Okay.
Sir, 90.
90.
Sir,
I'm going to-
414.
Okay, 440. I'm
Sir,
going to
415. Approx 415.
Four,
414, 36.
415. Then
414.
414. 415 was given by
Roll number 45.
roll number 45. And 414,
Sir, Adarsh 901.
901. Others. And roll
Sir,
number 45,
426.
426. Why is there so many different times happening? Roll number
Sir, Rupali, MTech student.
Rupali. Okay. Who is roll number 45?
Yes, sir.
Your name?
Sir, Monu Kumar.
Monu. Okay. So please check your answer. Yeah, please check your answer because the timings are coming very different.
Sir, 414.
414.
Sir,
Okay.
414.
Roll number?
Sir, 9.
Roll number 9.
Roll number 9. Anand Kumar.
Other. Okay. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Nagendra, 420.
420. Okay. 420. And your roll number?
Sir, 48 roll number, Nagendra.
Nagendra. Okay. So as of now, we have time from 2 students.
Sir, 415.
415. And this answer is coming from
Anushri.
10 students.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Sir, 415.
415.
Sir, 414.
Okay, 415. Who is this?
Sir, Harsh, BTech, roll number 27.
Roll number 27. 414.
Sir, Abhinav.
Roll number?
3.
Okay.
Sir, it's actually 414.7, so it's near to 415. So 415.
Whatever the initial 2 digits are there in minutes, you can just give the answer in that one only. No issue. No need to round up.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then it's 447. It's coming, sir. 414.7.
Okay.
414, sir.
414. Okay.
So 414.
414. Okay. So what was required to be done? You just need to exclude one clock only, which was?
Sir, you got my name wrong.
Your name is?
It's not Adarsh. It's Anand.
Adarsh. Roll number 9.
414.
Yeah, Adarsh 901 Adarsh, and then roll number 9 Adarsh.
Sir, and I am roll number 47.
Roll number 47, and your name is?
Ashish.
Ashish. Okay. Okay, no issue. So Ashish, you have got the answer 414, right?
Yes, sir. 414.
Sir, Anand. Anand.
Roll number 9.
Yes, sir. Roll number 9. Anand.
Okay.
Number 9 is
Okay, fine. I got it.
Anand.
Now, Anand, na? Roll number 9, Anand.
Sir, 414.
414. Okay, I got your answers. So I hope most of you now you have got the correct answer, which is 414 or 4:15. So the point which
Yes,
has
sir. Anand. Roll number 9, Anand Kumar Soni. Yes, sir.
okay,
Yeah,
fine.
sir.
Yeah, Anand Kumar Soni, your answer has been recorded over here. Okay. So in this question, as we discussed in the last class, we have to remove the outlier first. So in this case, as per the given variation, the allowed given variation, which was 45 minutes, we can see that this particular clock was the outlier, right? So what we have done, we have just removed the timing from this clock from the calculation. That means you have to add the time from this one, or you can say the time from all the other clocks, and then you have to calculate the average. So just add 425, 415, 410, 438, 355 and 405 together and divide by 6, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whatever time you'll get at the end, that is going to be your final time. And then you have to adjust each clock by that time. So if the time is 4:14, then you have to decrease this clock by 1 minute, right? Okay. And similarly, you have to make the other adjustment as well. So in this case, what has to be done? You have to again decrease the time by how much?
11.
Okay.
11.
Okay, so accordingly, the rest of the correction has to be done. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let us have one more thing. Suppose this time I have made the variation of 20 minutes only. Or let's say 18 minutes only. Now let me have the time. You guys got the question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can you repeat the variation of 18 minutes?
18 minutes. So that means this is the master clock and or the master process. So this will pull the timestamp from all the other clocks in the network, and it can just take the variation of at max 18 minutes.
Sir,
Why?
411. Sir, 411.
4?
411.
Okay, 4:1.
411, sir, 11.
4:11.
Yes, sir.
So in this case, how many clocks were coming into picture?
Sir, 4 clocks. 2
This
were
one?
excluded.
This one and this one and
Sir, 425, 410 and 45.
good. Okay, so I guess now all of you got the concept, right? What to be done in case of Berkeley algorithm. So now we'll move further to the next concept, and that concept is your network time protocol. We call it as the NTP. And this is the most commonly used internet time protocol. And why this is famous? Because it gives us the best accuracy. And the request for comments is just a document, and the document number is 1305. For detail, you can just refer this document. Okay. And in most of the cases, in almost all the operating system, this is the particular piece of code which is being placed and which is responsible to get the periodical, or you can say the periodically updates time. Okay. And this particular request is being placed on port number 123, and it is generally being sent with your UDP packets. So this is how it works. So what we are assuming in NTP, which is your network time protocol, that we have got some servers. Let's say these servers are having atomic time with them. Okay. So that means these servers are able to provide us your UTC time. Okay. As we all know that UTC time is only being measured with the help of atomic clock. Okay. Some insertion and deletion is done as per the need, right? So now this is how the overall system looks like. So these are time sources, and let's say we have got few systems, and these systems are synchronizing their clocks with these time sources. And we have got some more systems, and these systems are synchronizing their clock from the system which have been placed just above them. Okay. And similarly, we have got some more system, and this time these systems are synchronizing their clocks with these intermediately placed system. Okay. So this particular hierarchy is called as a strata. Okay. This hierarchy is called as a strata, and each level is called as a stratum. Okay. So stratum 1 will be getting the time from the direct time source. Okay. And stratum 2, or you can say the systems or the clocks which are there in the stratum 2 will be synchronizing their clock from the clocks of stratum 1. Similarly, the clocks of stratum 3 will be synchronizing their clocks from the clocks of stratum 2. Okay. So that means the clocks which are there in this stratum 1 will be having the more accurate time, because they are directly getting the time from the time source. Okay. So this is how the overall hierarchy looks like in network time protocol. Now, the main goals of the network time protocol is just to get the accurate time. Apart from that, it is also used to get the more reliable time from the NTP server. Okay. And apart from that, it also provides the protection against the interferences. So we'll see how exactly this thing is being done. So more importantly, what we have to remember, that it is a reliable source from which we can synchronize the clock. Okay. And it gives you the UTC time, and then it provides, or it offers number of mechanisms through which we can have the protection against the interferences. Okay. Now there are three modes of network time protocol, and these three modes are multicast, RPC, and symmetric mode. In multicast, what we do, or what happens in this particular case, your server periodically multicast its time to its client in the subnet. So in this particular mode, what happens? The client is not sending the request. Rather, server is multicasting its time to the client time by time. Okay, so this is why we are considering it as a low accuracy mode. Okay, because here the client are not given the authority to set their clock as per their need. Then the second mode, which is your remote protocol, it is very much similar to the Precious algorithm which we have discussed in the earlier classes, right? So over here, the client initiates the request and then gets the time back from the time server. Okay, so this is considered as a mode of medium accuracy. And then in high accuracy, we are assuming that we have got certain number of time servers, and those time servers are synchronizing from each other. Okay, so this is somewhat of peer-to-peer sort of topology. Okay, so this will provide you the highest level of accuracy, since the time sources use this particular type of mode in order to synchronize their clocks. Okay, and one point has to remember that we use the UDP protocol, which is unreliable. So let us discuss one of the mode. Let's say we have got a server A and we have got a server B. Okay, there are two servers, server A and server B. And we have started a request at Ti-3, and the request have been received by server B at Ti-2. Okay, this is the timeline. And then the reply has been generated at Ti-1, and then finally the reply has been received by server A at Ti. Fine. So the delay while sending the request is M, and the delay encountered while receiving the request from the server B is M dash. Okay. So the delay can be calculated by having the total transmission time of both the messages, right? So now let us just try to find out the delay and the offset. Let me have the delay. Okay, this is the time diagram, and I am asking you that what is the delay in terms of these timestamps: Ti, Ti-1, Ti-2, and Ti-3. Let me have the delay. The students, are you getting a point? No response?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Calculate the delay. You just need to find out the expression for delay as per this time diagram. Anyone?
Ti minus Ti minus 3.
Ti minus Ti minus 2.
Minus 3.
Okay. Something else has to be done.
So M plus M dash plus Ti minus 1 minus Ti minus 2.
Okay, so let me clear one thing. The moment you talk about M, So m is nothing but your ti minus 2 minus ti minus 3. Okay, this is the direction of the time. This is a time diagram. Okay, so in this case, this event is happening later. So you have to minus this from this. Okay, so m is going to be ti minus 2 minus ti minus 3. And similarly, in case of m dash, this is going to be ti minus ti minus 1. So if you are trying to find out the delay, it is going to be m plus m dash, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at
Sir,
the end,
please repeat.
okay, I'll repeat once again. So the question was, we have to, or we were supposed to find out the delay, right? And since this is the time diagram, so you always need to subtract the earlier one from the later one. Okay. So if you want to calculate the m, then you have to subtract ti minus 3 from ti minus 2. Okay, because this is the direction of the time. Okay, and if you want to calculate the m dash, in this case, you have to minus ti minus 1 from ti, like this. And what is delay? This is delay while sending a request and receiving a request, which is your m plus m dash, right? So this is going to be your ti minus ti minus 3. Okay, this is ti minus ti minus 3, and then minus ti minus 1 plus ti minus 2, this one. Okay, or in other way, you can just say that just subtract ti minus 3 from ti. Okay, just subtract this one from this one, right? Then just subtract this, which is your ti minus 1 minus ti minus 2. Okay, so this is the other way of looking. Am I clear? This is the total delay, out of which we have to subtract the delay observed by the other server. So in this way, you will get the delay with respect to server A. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us talk about the offset of clock A relative to clock B. This is very important. Okay, we are talking about the offset of clock A with respect to clock B. Okay, so in this case, what will happen? That you have to subtract this time from this one, which is ti minus 2 minus ti minus 3, plus again ti minus 1 minus ti. Earlier we were talking about the delay, but this is offset. So we have to choose that with respect to which clock we are trying to calculate the offset. Okay, so all these timings are going to be subtracted from these times. Okay, and one way offset can be calculated by dividing this expression by 2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how we calculate the delay and offset in case of network time protocol, the moment, or in case of symmetric mode. So at the end, we have to set a clock by this much, and the accuracy bound, of course, has to be divided by 2, right? One side. So let's say we have got two servers, server A and server B, and these are the time readings. And now what you have to do, you have to find out the offset and the delay. Just find out. First delay you need to find out, thereafter you need to find out the offset, and then you have to set the clock A with respect to that offset. Just do it quickly, huh? Question is clear to all the students? Rupali, Rajkumar, question clear hai?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Straightforward, right? Expression जो है हमने last slide में establish कर लिया है, just you need to apply that expression. That's it. हुआ किसी का?
Sir, 215.
Sir,
OI.
sir, offset is 325.
Okay, 325.
Sir, 325 offset.
Sir, 325.
Okay. So it is a positive one or negative one?
Negative. Negative.
पूरा बोलना चाहिए ना, है ना? Negative. Minus 3 to 5.
Yes,
So in
sir.
this case, you have to reduce the time, right? If it is minus. सभी का आ गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how the calculations are being done, right? So what you need to do, just you need to subtract this timing from these times, right? And then later on you have to divide by 2. So this is what you will be getting at the end, right? Minus 3 to 5. And
Yes, sir.
in order to synchronize your clock A, you just need to apply this offset. If this is negative one, then it is going to be subtracted from the original one. Okay. So the final clock value or the timestamp is going to be 875. Fine. So now in order to improve the accuracy, what can be done? We can have the multiple pairs of your offset and your delay. Then whichever is the smallest one, we are going to choose that one. And then accordingly, the clocks are going to be set. Okay, so this particular thing is called as the data filtering, and this process is called as the filter dispersion. Fine. And apart from that, in order to have the pair selection, we can synchronize our clock with the lower stratum server. Okay, so in that hierarchy, whichever is the nearest one, if you just try to synchronize from that one only, then it is going to give you the highest level of accuracy. Okay, so this is it for this class. If there are any doubt, then guys can ask me. Students, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.